Okay, so the unhealthy qualities that you're going to find in the person I mentioned in the last video was control, hostility, dishonesty, disrespect, intimidation, dependency, and violence. So I summed up violence because there's physical and sexual, but I summed up violence as one thing because it's similar in how you feel, and what it is it's violation of a person's boundaries, where it hurts them. So control, the power is to influence or direct somebody's behavior or the event. And so control can be a positive thing where we're in control of yourself and you make choices. That's not the negative part of it. Control is a problem when it's over somebody else. So control becomes a problem when it's chronic, when you try to control. It's usually people that are closest to that person. Okay, so it's not everybody. Okay, so not everybody's going to see it. So it's usually people who are very close to that person. And it's usually if the person is younger than them. It's people who are older than them, they're not, from my experience, the toxic person won't really try to control people who are older than them. But occasionally, if the person is full-on narcissist and they see themselves as above everybody, then even their boss, who maybe is 20 years older, they will dominate over. But I've seen that in narcissists. I haven't seen that in the general quality of control, because not everybody with control as a quality that can feel toxic is narcissist. Okay, there's a difference. But with control, it's usually behavior over a person that's against their will, that makes them feel uncomfortable. So they'd say no, or they'd say, I'm not doing this, and you'd push and push and push. So the thing is, control in that sense, along with all the other qualities. Okay, so this quality alone doesn't necessarily make the person toxic. Okay, but it's usually control to cross somebody's boundary. So when they say no, you're doing it anyway, and you're pushing, pushing, pushing until they agree to it. That's not necessarily getting them to agree to it. That is you trying to control them, okay? Or somebody trying to control somebody else. And it is usually for their personal gain. So it's so that they can use you or stand on your toes to get to where they need to go. Okay, people who have respect for other people and know their boundaries, usually when you say no, a person would listen. And usually somebody who's healthy would be happy if somebody else gets a promotion, or somebody else gets married and has a child, when the other person is still waiting for that season to happen, whatever. You would usually be happy for the other person. So in this case, if you're manipulating somebody, or lying to somebody, or trying to control their behavior to get what you want, that is control. And that can be seen as toxic. Okay, so other words that can be used to describe control is to manage, to direct. But negatively, it can be seen as to undermine. And undermining a person can hurt a person. And if the person gets hurt, then it becomes toxic. So when you're undermining them, when you're dictating over them, it says here by the way of controlling behavior, meaning they would think this, and you would do the opposite of what they have said that's going to happen. And then they would say to you, but didn't we agree that this was going to happen? And you said, no, I don't remember that conversation. Then that flips to gaslight. That is controlling. So they'll make you think that everything is your fault. This is how you would feel. They'd make you think that everything is your fault. So they'd blame, right? They criticize all the time. And so every now and then when they can see you taking strain and you might actually be pulling back, then all of a sudden they'll throw in some compliments to bring you back. But on average, criticism consistently throughout the day, every day. They don't want you to see the people that you love, so this is quite an extreme. So basically isolating the person. They would keep score. I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, what did you do? Or on the other side, where they would say, but you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that, you hurt me in those ways, so I get to do this. That is keeping score. They will gaslight you. So what you think is your reality, or how you remember a situation playing out. So the flip side of gaslight in a healthy version is, I'm at a party and a friend's at a party. We agree that it was a party, that it was a birthday party, it was a Saturday night, it was 8 o'clock. We agree of the people who were there based on who we saw. But if I saw a fight break out and she didn't see a fight break out, she would say, oh really, did that happen? Wow. And then she'd take it in as new facts that she just didn't see. When it becomes gaslighting is that both people saw the fight and the one person said that it wasn't a fight. There was no aggressiveness or anything like that. You reading too much into the situation. You. And you're like, they punched each other. They called each other names. It's a fight. And they stick to the fact that you saw it differently. But it was clear as day that other people that you talk to have said, yes, they called each other names and somebody got punched in the face. And this is where misunderstandings comes in, where it can be something where this person interpreted the situation this way, that person interpreted the situation that way. But this is where I'm saying, check your spirit. Because if you feel confused and you feel like something didn't go down the way that you think it did, chances are your spirit is right. Thing is, people can lie. If people are really good at it, you can change your facial expressions and your body language to train people to think that you're telling the truth. People can say things with their mouth that didn't actually happen, or that's not truth. But something that cannot be altered is spirit. Something that cannot be manipulated with, a person can manipulate with words and can gaslight, but your spirit will always be truthful. Your spirit will always, you can't change that, you can't manipulate that. So if you feel like your spirit is guiding you against a situation, listen to it. And then also creating drama. So, and I'm not talking about somebody who likes to tell stories and entertain. I'm not talking about somebody who likes to get attention, because to a point we all like to get attention. To a degree, like we all like to make people laugh and things like this. So it's depending on the spectrum of how much tension and how much you need that, like how much of a clown maybe that you are. But they create drama, and often it's a negative thing. So it becomes this thing where it's draining. It actually drains your energy. They intimidate you. So it's strange, because intimidate can be something like your headmaster. You know, he's all of authority, and so it's kind of a good thing. Where you feel intimidated by somebody, it can be a positive thing. But in this case, it's something where you actually feel uncomfortable. And if you're I'm not generally an insecure person. It's not my nature. I can be shy, I can be reserved. I'm an observer as well as a doer. Whereas not everybody's just an observer. A lot of the time, very confident people are more doers than observers. I'm a bit of both. But when I'm around somebody who I'm intimidated by, it's usually associated with fear or associated with domination.